Coyote! Incredible! Hello, you lot. Welcome to the Big Toon Chat. And today we are talking about the fantastic news that Dwight Gayle has been handed a 3-year contract. Now, that is a lot of sarcasm in the first sentence, Stephen.
Yeah. Was that sarcasm?
Well, you know, I try to make the best of it. You know, you've got to make jokes these days. The amount of depression that's around at the minute. You're in lockdown. Newcastle United's probably, you know, up shit's creek without a bloody paddle. So, you know, you've got to see the funny side of it. I mean, you give Dwight Gayle, our number 2, 3, 4 striker, whatever you want to call him, a 3-year deal. How do you feel about that? You woke up this morning thinking, what could possibly go on today? And then by lunchtime, Dwight Gayle has been handed a new contract. Are you resigned to Championship football next season?
Yeah. Now that's been announced. It's inciting relegation, isn't it? It's just preparing for relegation. Just giving Dwight Gayle a new 3-year contract, it's absolutely ludicrous for the club to do that. I think he's not even in Bruce's plans, is he? I mean, at the end of the season, he should have just thanked them for his service to Newcastle and waved them away. Then his contract expired, go to a different club. Just go to in Dubai, wherever, the Middle East. Galatasaray are interested in them, go there for free. And it's ludicrous to give him a 3-year deal on reduced term. I don't care if it's reduced term, it's still a ludicrous to give him a 3-year deal, to be honest.
Do you think it's a desperation or a panic sort of signing, if you like? Because obviously, I think I'm resigned to losing Wilson next season if we go down. I think Wilson will be off. I think Harry Kane will leave Tottenham, and I think Tottenham will come calling for for Callum Wilson. I think Sam Maximin will be off. Dubravka will be off. Almiron will go. I think we're going to be we're not going to have a team next season. We're going to have a team that's going to be challenging between 12th and 6th in the Championship next season. It's going to be an absolute dogfight next season.
It is, yeah. I mean, like you say, we aren't going to have our best players. As you know, Wilson will go, Almiron, San Maximin, Dubravka, all go and they'll leave the club. So we're going to be. I know Darlow's a good keeper. He's trying to be the number 1 keeper. I mean, there's Woodman to consider in that as well. But we're not going to be nowhere near as good a team as we were the past twice we were relegated in the Championship. And I know we had a good core of players to get us back up. We kept the majority of our team. That's the pull Rafa had. They wanted to play for him. They wanted to get straight back up to the Premier League, and they were willing to do that for a season. But if we stuck with Bruce in the Championship, we ain't going to come back straight back up. It just who in the right mind has thought it's the right thing to give Dwight Gayle a 3-year contract. You know, Bruce says he always wanted to sign Dwight Gayle as manager, and he never got the chance. Yet, when he's been in Newcastle, he's hardly played. Exactly, and he's a Championship striker. That's the only reason I can think of. The club's given him a 3-year deal is so we've got a goal scorer in the Championship, because you know full well Wilson will leave. He doesn't want another relegation on his CV. He'll go to a bigger club, like you say, Tottenham or something like that. He'll thrive at Tottenham with the service, Son and all them kind of players. It just preparing for relegation for me without actually coming out and saying it, for me.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that baffles me is Steve Bruce has never really got on with Dwight Gayle. He hardly plays him. So the only reason I can think Dwight Gale's been given a new deal is it's not from Steve Bruce. I think it's from higher up. I think we're going to continue next season without Steve Bruce, whether we stay up or not. And if we do stay up, what does that tell you? We've got Dwight Gayle for 3 years after that. I mean, he's not a starter. I mean, if anything, he's a fringe player. Why can't we look at the youth team? We've got Elliot Anderson. I mean, look at a few examples. I spoke earlier on with John Sinclair. The link is in the description down below for the video if anybody's interested. I mean, look at what happened to Adam Armstrong. He's banging goals in for fun. Ivan Toney, banging goals in for fun. Them two will be in the Premiership next season. I can guarantee that. Okay. Well, I'm not going to say I'm going to guarantee that because I don't know that for sure. But in my opinion, I think there will be. But, I mean, what are we going to do? We're going to spend another life in the Premiership if we survive with Dwight Gayle as a striker. It's just absolutely crazy. I mean, what is going on? It's despicable the way that things are going on with Newcastle.
It is. I mean, like you said, you don't take what the fans say. They don't really care about the fans. I mean, the fans are what make this club work. That's why we're so passionate about this club. We want the very best for the club. I mean, we can even see ourselves as a manager. A few of us can see ourselves as managers. We know the better tactics. We know the best players to play in the positions. And we do a damn sight better job. And that's just not being big-headed, because I think most people would, even me or you, Kev, could do a better job than what Steve Bruce is doing. But you look on Twitter, all over Twitter, and every time that lineup comes out, there's always disagreement with people. It's good, it's bad. It's mainly bad because you know when Isaac Hayden's out injured the rest of the season, you know exactly who's going to start. It's Jeff bloody Hendrick all the time, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. I think he'll probably be one of the players that stays if we do go down. Interesting comments from, I don't know how to pronounce your name, so don't get offended. Is it Gemop? Is it Jamie Hop? I don't really know. Is it a spelling mistake? Jamie, okay. And saying he doesn't think Adam Armstrong can cut it. I mean, everyone's got their own opinion. Personally, I think he'll thrive. I mean, at the minute, he's with Blackburn Rovers, who are doing all right, but will a Burnley or someone like that come calling from next season? Ivan Toney, I think, definitely will be in the Premiership. I think West Ham or someone will go for him. Ant says we'll meet Sunderland down there and get hummed off them again. That's probably correct. Let's not mention Henrik because we'll be here all night. Jamie Hopkins, mate. Yeah, thank you for that clarification. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe. All the details are down below, and you can find Stephen's link down below to subscribe to his channel as well. Ant says every time Almiron plays, he thinks he's the guy who drives the team without there is zero pressure. That's very true, because Almiron is the front runner. He's the one that does all the running around at the top. Nobody else does it. Without him in the team, we are a defensive team. We've got no attacking ability going forward. He thinks he's too slow, technically very good, just not sure on his all-round game. I think that's referring back to the Adam Armstrong comment, which I think probably you are correct in a way. But, I mean, like I say, everybody's got their own opinions. I think, given the chance, I think Adam Armstrong, give him 6-10 games, he'll probably find his feet, then he'll start banging goals in for fun, just not be water all over the place. Yeah, I mean, this club is rotten to the core at the minute with this owner in charge, isn't it? I mean, Mike Ashley doesn't do anything. He flies around in his little toy helicopter that he's got. Lee Charnley turns up at their training ground for 10-15 minutes every now and again. Speaks to Steve Bruce. Steve Bruce, I mean, we'll be here all night if we start talking about him. But, like, it's just absolutely rotten from the top down, isn't it, Stephen?
Yeah, I mean, you say about getting linked with Adam Armstrong, potentially come back to Newcastle. I mean, he never did nothing when he was here. I mean, I don't say the fans bigging him up, saying he should come back. We've got a good deal to try and get him back. I wouldn't have him at all, to be honest. You never seen much of him when he was at Newcastle to start with. He never got games. That's why we shipped him out, because that's Newcastle's mantra. You get promising youngsters through the in the academy, and he just gets shipped out. Like Adam Armstrong, for instance, got shipped out to Blackburn. He did well. He's done well then. Best of luck to him, but I wouldn't have him back at Newcastle. That may be controversial there, but I don't really rate him, to be honest. That's just my thought. I'm sure other people's opinions will differ, but that's just my thoughts. I don't really rate him, so
Yeah, I mean, you're all right. I mean, I totally respect your opinion. Everyone's got their own opinion. That's absolutely fine. I'm not going to challenge anyone. Um, the only problem with Almiron is he tries to play 100 miles an hour. It's 110 if you ask me. I mean, he's always whizzing around like the bloody
I
blue
love
horse
him,
fly,
man.
isn't he?
I absolutely love Almiron for what he does.
The style of our play didn't fit him, I reckon. Again, I think that's going back to Adam Armstrong. Jamie says, if we are a club who's trying to improve, we need better than Armstrong. But with the way we are, I'd take him. Yeah, I totally agree with you, because we do need someone as a backup to Callum Wilson that can actually score goals. We don't have anyone at the minute. Andy Carroll comes on for 32 seconds of a game and gets 35 grand bonus for it. I mean, that's just absolutely outrageous. He's scored 1 goal since he came back to the club. Joe Linton hasn't hit double figures in the Premier League yet. Dwight Gayle doesn't get a chance. When he does get a chance, he gets put in against Chelsea, and Chelsea are a possession-based team. So what's the point? You know, we're just going to be defending, and Dwight Gayle's just going to be running around the halfway line trying to get the ball back, and it just doesn't work with Dwight Gayle, does it?
I mean, with Dwight Gayle, same in games when he scored, even in the restart last season, when he got about 3 and 4 games or something, 5 and 4 and 5 games, whatever. He was celebrating them. He's not even celebrating them. He's just going, just like he's saying a puppy or something, and it's bad in that. He's like, he just scored a fucking goal for Newcastle. He's there, miserable as anything. I just
do you think he was do you think he was resigned to leaving then? Do you think he had it in his mind that he wanted to leave back then? Because I think the game you're referring to is the Bournemouth game. He knocked in a couple, didn't he? Is that the game I'm thinking of, where they won 5 or 6,
and
6-1, 5,
Villa
6-0?
as well. He was knocking goals in about 3-4 games in a row. He knocked goals in. And just the look on his face after he'd scored a goal, he just didn't look like he was asked. Just, I've scored, so what? That kind of mantra. I think with Dwight Gayle, with Dwight Gayle, you don't. I've always said he's a championship striker. That's why I believe we're preparing for relegation, offering Gayle. I mean, if we were safe in the Premier League right about now, sitting in mid-table, say, he wouldn't have got that deal for me. He'd just been told he's going at the end of the season, wouldn't have been offered a new contract. But it's just the situation we're in now. We could go down. They've offered him that deal, so it preserves his future for the next season, as we'll need him in the Championship to score goals and try and get us straight back up.
Yeah, Anth put it on there before. It's a panic contract deal. That's all he's saying. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with him. But Jamie, that's a good question. If you can have one, do you take Tony or Armstrong? I think Tony all day long for me. He's big, he's strong, and he's proven it in the Championship. Why not give him a few games in the Premiership, see what he's like? I mean, I think we were wrong to let him go. We didn't give him enough game time, but I think he's more than proved himself now.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'd take Tony myself. Like you say, he was another one that came back to the club. I think he was brought in from Northampton or something like that, and he didn't get enough games. Another promising youngster coming through, and he didn't exactly pull up trade at Newcastle. But since he's went to Brentford, when he was at Peterborough, and then he went to Brentford, I think he's had a good career. I mean, he's I would say a West Ham type club would come in for him, because he's a hell of a player. And he would go for, I don't know, something ranging what Villa paid with Ollie Watkins if he continues the way he is, because he's a good striker. I'd rate him better over Adam Armstrong myself, because you know what you get with Ivan Toney.
Yeah, I do. I think that exactly what you've just said there. I do think over him, like as him, better than Adam Armstrong. I was just muddling my words there. I was just trying to blurt them all out. But Jamie's just said it's a win-win for Mike Ashley. If we do go down, he's got his Championship striker. If we stay up, then, we'll just try and sell him for a few million, which I think is basically why he's been given the contract. He's hoping that we can stay up, so someone will come in for Dwight Gayle and give a little substantial fee to try and add a few more years on his contract. So that'll make another team pay a little bit more for him. But to be honest with you, I don't think that we will get much for Dwight Gayle. I mean, I think when we accepted 12 million for Dwight Gayle last summer from West Brom, I think we should have tried to push him out the door, basically. But he refused it, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, West Brom were very interested in him and they wanted to sign him for about 28 goals he knocked in for them. I think they had 12 to 15 million they were asking for, and I would have snapped their hands off for that. 12, 15 million for a championship striker, but you only paid about 10 for him. That would have been a hell of a profit, 5 million profit for him. Yeah. And he didn't want to go. He wanted to fight for his place at Newcastle, which you can commend to a degree. He probably was just hoping he was going to get a lot more games than he hasn't got. He just sat on the bench picking up his wage each week. And it doesn't help when he gets started. He gets played on the wrong side. And he's getting played in Ryan Fraser's position. That game against Villa, he played out on the left wing. He ain't the left winger. Ryan Fraser isn't the striker. It's just bonkers.
Yeah, Mrs. Nine Talks, hello, welcome to the channel. I like your quizzes, by the way, but she's saying, let's face it, we're bracing ourselves to be relegated. Only how many players will jump ship? Mrs. Nine Talks, or Lily as she's called, that guy is Stephen the Googler, as you know him.
I don't cheat.
Back to your question.
How many times?
How many players will jump ship? I reckon at least half a dozen, I think, because when you look at Jamal Lewis, he came from Norwich City when they got relegated. Callum Wilson, Ryan Fraser from Bournemouth when they got relegated. So they're not going to be happy that they're going to be relegated again with Newcastle. I mean, that's just a confidence, a shot in the foot, isn't it? Basically, they're not going to be happy, so they'll want to go. San Maximum, Almiron, Dubravka, who else? Willock will go back to Arsenal. I think at least all of them.
Yeah, and at least we're going to be stuck with Shelvey, Hendrick. I mean, you're going to rely on Shelvey to try and get you back up into the Premier League? I don't think so. He courses through games anyway. Doesn't put his heart and soul into it. He just gets by because I won't say it's a bit dirty, but the way he you know what, Bruce, if you know what I mean. He sucks up to him. If that's a kind of clean version of it. Sucks up to him too much. That's why he gets to start in the team all the time. You're going to rely on him to get you back up because the Championship is a tough league. It's not a cakewalk, as they say. We found it hard. Twice we were in the league. I know we walked it twice. I know we won it on the last day of the season, the second time. But can't expect, if we do get relegated, you say all our best players are going to go. I'm prepared for that. I don't really want to see Almiron playing for any other club but Newcastle. I just absolutely adore that lad. I mean, and Wilson, Sam Maximan, Dubravka, I love. Most of that team will just break up. Then it'll break my heart to see Sam Maximan playing another team as well. It's the way it is.
Yeah, I think Arsenal might come in for Sam Maximum, I reckon. He's their sort of player, isn't he? He's a sort of player that Arsenal would go for. But Jamie's saying 3 to 5 million for Dwight Gayle. I reckon, 6 million max. I reckon you're in the right sort of ballpark there. Mrs. Nine Talk, I know you don't cheat. Oh, yes, you do. Jamie says, they'll all go 1,000,000%. That's obviously a reflection of all the players that I mentioned just before. Longstaffs, they'll be key players for us in the Championship. I reckon one of them at least will be gone by the time we go to the Championship. I reckon Matty Longstaff will be shipped off. I reckon someone's going to come in for him. I can't see him hanging around. Sean Longstaff had the chance to go to Man United for 50 million. I think he's saying that.
Look like 50
I think he
now,
regrets that. I think, but at the same time, I think he regrets that now because he's not getting game time. Matty Longstaff's probably regretting the contract that he signed, so he's probably wanting to leave as well. Which honestly, I don't blame them. They're going to turn out like Adam Armstrong and Ivan Toney. They're going to work wonders wherever they go and be world-class players. Local boys who give everything in each game, which we will need massively. Yep, they are local boys and they will probably give everything in each game. But personally, I can't see them staying, Stephen.
Yeah, man. When Matty Longstaff, because it was a travesty, Matty Longstaff hadn't been given a new contract. And then there was all this talk he was going to go to Udinese and then get loaned to Watford, and then I don't think Newcastle were keen on that. But when I was saying he was only signed a 2-year contract extension, when most people in the media saying it was going to be 5+, I just think he signed that 2 year to keep his options open. He even got the number 4 shirt at Newcastle to think he was going to get started in more games. Even Sean, when he was in the team, and Matty wasn't. Sean that didn't play. He'll know full well he hasn't played to his potential, because on these days, Sean Longstaff is a hell of a player, hell of a midfielder for Newcastle, can break the play up well. But since he's had that fallout with Bruce, he's never been the same player. And when Man United were after him for 50 million, he's not the same player. I mean, it stinks.
Does it annoy you, Stephen?
Yeah, it does annoy me. It really does annoy me to think a player like a young up-and-coming player like Matty Longstaff, he isn't getting the game. Yet you get players like Jeff Hendrick nearly starting every week. Yet Matty Longstaff makes that Newcastle team better, that midfield better. He's got drive, he's got pace, he's got passion, ambition. Whereas Jeff Hendrick just wanders around the park like tomorrow would do, like a Shelby. He just
he gets lost during games. Then sometimes you think he's not even there, and then when he comes off the pitch, you think, oh God, I forgot he was playing. He's that sort of player. But Jamie's hit the nail on the head there. If Bruce does go early, I think they will stay as well, because I think someone like Graham Jones has been brought in for if and when Steve Bruce leaves the club. So I think Graham Jones is basically a caretaker manager in waiting. And I hope that is before the end of the season, because he might bring something different to the team, and then we might end up playing differently. Maybe we'll stay up. Stephen?
Yeah, I mean, what was said, I think we said it last night on our stream we're on. I think if he's sacked, Bruce goes and Jones is given it to the end of the season, I reckon he'd galvanise that squad. As you could say, they'd play for him. They want to play for him, want to get results for him, get him wins. You're saying him when he had been there 3 days, the impact he made in that game at Everton, shouting back and orders at the players. He wasn't even the manager. He's shouting at players, telling them which position, where to go, who's behind them, and all this. That's what you want as a player, constant instructions. Not like Bruce stood on the touchline, hands in his pockets, looking like he doesn't have a clue. He doesn't have a clue. But if Jones is brought in at the end of the season, caretaker, like you say, at the end of the season, he would galvanise that team 100% certainty. We'd get that bounce, we'd get a few wins, and we'd stay up 100%.
Okay, Jamie, thanks for your comments. Again, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. The link is down below. One more quick comment from Jamie. If Bruce goes, it doesn't matter who takes over, it'll be an improvement. Players will feel such a lift. Yeah, I think it'll be a completely different atmosphere. Yeah. There'll be one voice on the touchline rather than 4 voices all at the same time, and at least players will be played in the right position. The communication will be a lot better. The play will be a lot better because there'll be higher pressing. And yeah, I think if it was Jones, I think he would keep up personally. But if it's Bruce, I think we're going down.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not asking for Eddie Howe yet, if he's still available, but just somebody to steady the ship to the end of the season, get us safe, then get Eddie Howe in. And he's got time in the summer to get his philosophy over to the players, get them playing. Fraser will know what he's like. Wilson will know what he's like. I think Wilson would relish, and Fraser. He'd have that team. He'd have Wilson and Fraser in that team every week. Wilson and Fraser equals goals. But yeah,
that's very true. Yeah, would you play Wilson, Fraser, and Sam Maximin with Almiron behind them?
Absolutely, that's our best attacking formation. That absolutely. Wilson up top, Fraser, Almiron, St. Max. That's our best attacking threat.
Sounds good. Yeah, sounds good. Stephen, I'm going to end the video here, but thank you for joining this Dwight Gayle praise video for the 3-year contract he's got. Congratulations, Dwight. You don't deserve it, but never mind. We'll see you in the championship next season. I'm going to have to go because I need to clean this water up that I've just knocked all over the place. So thank you for watching the video. Thanks again, Stephen. And we will see you on the other side on another video soon. Take care, guys.